Over to you.
Over to you.
So, dear students, morning to all of you. We're here again and hope that you are all fine. Yesterday I started about the democracy, what is democracy and why democracy. And yesterday I told you that the features of democracy also, right? And here the main feature is major decision is by elected leaders. Major decision are taken by the elected leaders. Who are elected over here? The people to whom you are choosing. You are choosing some people, they are elected leaders, right? And here I told you about the story of Pakistan when Parvez Musharraf was there. In August, I told you that 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the constitution of Pakistan. According to this order, the president can dismiss the National and Provisional Assembly. President has mammoth power. The president of Pakistan. I'm saying about the president of Pakistan. And he was having lots of power, Parvez Musharraf, and he can dismiss any type of government, maybe local government, maybe democratic government, whatever it is. The work of civilian cabinet is also supervised. The work of civilians also supervised by a National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. Means civil officers are dominated by military officers, and they are being supervised by those military officers. Then, so Pakistan has had, but Pakistan is having election. Now you can well imagine that how this Pakistan nation can have the election, right? So Pakistan has had the election, elected representative, and they have some powers, but the final powers rested with military officers. Here you can define, you can just compare between Indian government and Pakistan government. Both the government are absolutely clear. Now also in Pakistan, military officers are very powerful. They are much powerful, and they can dictate Imran Khan. Right, whatever they are doing, they are dictating Imran Khan, and literally Imran Khan is doing whatever their military bosses are doing, are saying to them. But in India, army has its own power, but they are not super, so they cannot take a seniority against our elected members, elected people. So clearly, there are many reasons why Pakistan under General Parvez Musharraf should not be called a democratic government. This is not a democracy. When military leaders are there, that particular is a dictatorship. So Pakistan under General Parvez Musharraf cannot be called a democracy at that time. Now a democratic government is there, but Imran Khan is there, but still Imran Khan is there, but still the things are dominated by military officers. But let us focus on one of these. Can we say that the rulers are elected by the people to Pakistan? Not quite. People may have elected their representative to the national and provisional assemblies, and those elected representatives were not really the rulers. They cannot take the final decision. They cannot take the final objectives. So here, yes, they cannot take the final decision or objectives. The power to take that final decision rested with the army officials. What is in India? The power of army is nowhere. At present, nowhere. During the army, during the war, it is there. But in the democratic setup, army is secondary. Democratic setup is the first one. So the power to take final decision is vested with the democratic government in India. But in Pakistan, the power to take final decision during the army rule, it was by the army officials. and with the General Pervez Musharraf. Right.
Much fast. Speed.
Okay. Slow. Okay. Right. The part, again I'm repeating, the part to take final decision rested with army officials in Pakistan. What in India? I just change it. The power to take the final decision rested with democratic leaders over here. Like Modi is there. Right now, Mr. Narendra Modi, he is having the final decision because cabinet ministers are there. We have chosen some ministers for our as a leader. Right. But in Pakistan, it was earlier General Pervez Musharraf, now General Bajwa. You have heard the name. General Bajwa is there. So this happens in many dictatorship and monarchies. This happens in many dictatorship and monarchy. Dictatorship where the army rulers are there, and monarchies, it's not monarchies, it's a monarchies. In monarchies, kings are there, queens are there, their decision is the final decision. They formally have an elected parliament and government, but the real power is with those who are not elected. What in India? The real powers are with those people who are elected by we people. I told you yesterday, by the people, for the people, of the people, by Abraham Lincoln. Right? That is democratic system. But here in military dictatorship or in monarchies, they formally have an elected parliament. Obviously, in a monarchy also, they have a formally elected parliament. But the real power is with those who are not elected. In the previous chapter, we read about the role of USSR. Again, USSR earlier, now it's a Russia, it's a communist country. Now you say, okay, now let us example China, right? China is a communist country, but the real power is not with the people. Real power is with the one man, right? So that who is the chairperson of the communist power, communist power of that particular country. So, in the previous chapter, we read about the role of the USSR in communist and communist Poland also. US in contemporary Iraq, here the real power are with the external powers and not with the locally elected representative. This cannot be called people's rule. In Iraq also, it was earlier, I have heard the name of Saddam Hussein. Hussein was the king of Iraq. Right, and real power was lying with under him. He was the main person behind the machine. Right. So, in a democracy, the final decisions making power must rest with those who are elected by the people. I'm saying you by the people. So, in a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those elected by the people. So here in democratic setup, real power is with the people. We can choose our own leaders. Right? Next is free and fair election, free and fair electoral competition. What do you mean a free and fair election? You know, in democracy, one election commission is there. Where some election commission is there. An election commission is very powerful in a democratic country, like in India. Election commission is very powerful. And when the elections are there, that particular committee, electoral committee, is very powerful, and it can give any direction or decision, take any decision against the ruling party also, ruling power also. Right, but you cannot think about it where the dictatorial government is there, when monarchical government is there, right, where one party government is there. One party government means where 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 one party government is there means means Communist Party, means Communist Party is there. In China, elections are regularly held. You know China, from where we have the coronavirus, right? Wuhan. So, you cannot forget the whole. That's why you are sitting in your home and we are giving you the lecture, right? Thank you. I don't know you will going to thanks to coronavirus or what happens to the whole system. Free and fair electoral competition. China. Elections are regularly held, and every 5 years for electoral country's parliament, called National People's Congress. It is National People's Congress. So the National People Congress has the power to appoint the president of that particular country. It has the power to choose their own president. It has nearly 3,000 members. It has nearly 3,000 members written over here. Just look in the screen and in your book, page number 27, second column, where the free and fair electoral competitions are there, written over there. It has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over China. Some members are elected by the army. Some members are elected by the army. Can you well imagine, can we elect a member from army till he is not retired? Serving army officers, can you elect someone to be a minister? You cannot think so. But in China, yes, it is possible. So it has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over China. Some members are elected by the army. Before contesting election, a candidate needs the approval from the Chinese Communist Party. Chinese Communist Party. Only, in China, let me tell you one thing. Only Communist Party is there. That's all. No other party. That's why it is said China is having single party system. And single party system means Communist Party system. Whatever the communism saying to them, communism, community, it depends on the community. Ism means your dogmas, aapke dogmas, aapke siddhant. In English, we call it dogmas, right? So your principles, your dogmas, they are called ism. Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, right? So ism is there. So communism, that is from community. Communism. So community, and they are the Lenin, Marx, they are following their decisions, their isms is there. So some members are elected by the army. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs approval of the Chinese Communist Party to fight the election into China. Only those who are members of the Chinese Communist Party, only those who are the members of the Chinese Communist Party, or 8 smaller parties left. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Only those who are members of the Chinese Communist Party or 8 smaller parties allied to it were allowed to contest election held in 2002 and 3. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. Underline this sentence. Here, how many parties we have in India? Just when the comparison is there, your ideas are absolutely clear. Your views are clear. I'm just comparing Indian government and Chinese government, Indian party system and Chinese party system. Just just listen to me. Now, in China, I said one party system, and that is also communist. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. Underline Kaliji, and this sentence is very important. If you are going to compare, it could be a question also, compare between Indian government and Chinese democratic government, right? Whatever the democracies say. So, but in India, we have got multi-party system. The main difference is over here. Here in India, we have got a multi-party system. There are thousands of parties are there. There are the local parties are there. There the state parties are also there. There the national parties are also there. Right? There are some allied parties are there. Supporting parties are also there. Right? So we have got the multi-party system. But in China, it's not a party. It's not a multi-party system. There can be various people. There can be there who are fighting the election. But those everyone should be from the Communist Party. Everyone should have from the look in India earlier it was a Janata Dal. Then Congress Party came. They ruled us. Then Bharatiya Janata Party is ruling now. Look, see, in a state in Bengal, Trinamool Congress led by Mamata Banerjee. Right? In Kerala, that is Communist Party. So various multi-party systems there in India. Okay. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds election after every 6 years to elect its president. Now another example is there. Another country's example. Now another country example is Mexico in South America. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its president. The country has never under a military or dictator's rule. Right? Never under a military or dictator's rule. Right. The country has never been under a military or dictator's rule, but until 2000, every election was won. 2000, every election was won by a party called PRI. It's here now. By a party called PRI. And PRI is an institutional revolutionary party. Opposition parties did contest election, but never managed to win. This underline this sentence. Opposition parties are there to contest the election, but they are unable to win any election. Why it is so? Just you compare with India. Many 4, 5 or 7 states are there where the Bharatiya Janata Party is not there. Just one example is West Bengal. Trinamool Congress is there. Kerala Congress, Communist Party is there. Right? So some other states, some allies are there. But in Mexico, the opposition party, they were unable to win any election. The PRI was known to use many dirty tricks here. The PRI was known to use many dirty tricks to win the election. Now, there could be a question, criminalization and politics. Criminalization and politics. What do you mean by this? The criminal enters the politics. Here also, you can see many people. They are criminals, right? Just to count down. I will not say the name now over here in the running class. You just see about the UP, Uttar Pradesh. From how many goons are there? They were the MPs, and now they are behind the bar. Recently, one has been shifted from Punjab to UP. Right? But they won the election. But basically, in Mexico, they were unable to win any type of election. All those who were employed in government officials had to attend its party meetings. Teachers of the government schools used to force parents to vote for PRI. Here, teachers, I'm giving you all those who were. Yes, here it is. Teachers of government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. Now, can you imagine over here? Teachers are forcing the parents of the pupils, of the students, that they should go for vote, and but the vote should be to PRI. That is the forcing. They were forcing. Right. So media largely ignored the activities of opposition media. Here are media. What do you mean by media? What is another synonyms of media? Synonyms of media is fourth pillar of democracy. Fourth pillar of democracy is called media. Our media is absolutely independent. Our media is absolutely independent. So, but media ignored them. Media ignored them. Media ignored all the activities of opposition.
But you can, Sharif, you can take the doubts.
Rest. Here I told you about the media. Media can have the, here our media is absolutely independent. They project the opposition parties also, they project the ruling parties also. They are unbiased. They are not biased. But in Mexico, media was biased. They supported the ruling party. So rest by tomorrow. Till then, you read page number 25. You read this a simple definition of democracy, which I'm continuing. And tomorrow I will give the questions to mark it up. Thank you. Till then, take care and have a nice day.